Hi guys, in this video I want to show you how to set up your checkout settings, which seems a bit trivial, but it is very important. So to do this, you're going to first go to your settings in the bottom left, then you'll bring you to a page that looks like this. You're just going to click checkout, and then we're going to walk through this. So the first one is to turn on or turn off the ability to set up customer accounts. That's basically so when people go to your online store, for them to be able to buy something, they have to first create an account with your website, meaning a username and a password, and then log in for them to be able to purchase an item. This may be advantageous in certain cases if you have traditional e-commerce, but for dropshipping, we really want to psychologically reduce any barriers between the customer um, and them buying a product. So we want to make it as easy as possible. So we're going to turn off accounts, customer accounts. So just going to click accounts disabled. And again, I live in the US, so my Shopify dashboard looks like this. My settings look like this. If you're in a different country, it may look a little bit different, but for the most part, most of them should be pretty similar to my settings. So the next one is customer contact. So to check out, customers can check out using either their phone number or email, or you could click this, customers can only check out using email. We want to click this one by default because we don't really want the customer's phone number, but we do want their email. So we're going to force them to give us their email, because then we can send them abandoned cart checkout emails. We can send them email marketing promotions and things like that. So we really want people's emails. That's because the more emails we have, the bigger our email list, the better our email marketing can do, right? Email marketing is something we'll talk about later, but it's a type of marketing where you use emails to market to your customers, send them promotions, send them holiday discount codes, things like that. To receive shipping updates, customers can choose to add a phone number or email. We're going to unclick this one, and then we're going to click this one, all right? Because we don't want them to have to download an app just to get shipping updates. So we're just going to do shipping updates through phone number and email, but likely it'll just be email because we basically just turned off the phone number section. Form options. So when they're checking out, they will have to fill out this given information here. So of course we want their first name, or I'm sorry, let's do first and last name just to make it sound more professional. I know we're trying to lower the barriers for them to buy something, but I think it's kind of weird to just ask for someone's last name when they're buying something. It seems kind of sketchy. So I do first name and last name. You're more than welcome to try just last name. Company name, I hid that. We don't care where people work. We just want to take their money and have them buy our products. Address line 2, I keep this optional. Some people live in apartments, so it's good to know what suite number they're in or what apartment number they're in. Sometimes people are in condos or townhouses. But some people also live in single homes where they live in a independent home, and that's why this is optional. But we do not want to hide it, because if we hide it, then we're not going to know how to send a product to a customer who lives in an apartment. Shipping address, phone number. I'm just going to keep this hidden because, again, we don't really need the phone number for anything. Show tipping options at checkout. This is really more for services that you may sell, but because we're drop shipping physical products, we're going to leave that unchecked. While the customer is checking out, use the shipping address as the billing address. I usually will always want to click this because it's going to make filling out the address a little bit easier for the customer, right? The shipping address is where you ship the product to. The billing address is the address that is associated with a person's credit card or debit card. So generally those two addresses are the same, right? Because people will buy something and they want the product for themselves. The only time those would be different is if someone buys something and they want to buy it for a friend, like as a gift. But for the most part, we want to pre-populate that just to make the checkout process easier for our customers, because like I would say 95% of the time people are buying stuff for themselves. Enable address auto completion. So as you guys probably have experienced this before, sometimes when you're checking out, your address, if you use the same address all the time when you're buying stuff online, sometimes your computer will automatically suggest that address in the future when you purchase a product. So we want to have address auto completion, because this will make out checkout even faster for the customer, again making it a little bit easier for them to buy your product. After an order has been paid, I do not automatically fulfill the order's line items. That's something I manually do. And then after an order has been fulfilled and paid, automatically archive that order, and I'll leave that checked as well. For email marketing, so we're going to talk a lot about email marketing later in the Omnisend section of this course. Email marketing is one of the main pillars of marketing next to Facebook marketing, SEO, social media marketing, and then of course email marketing. Those are probably the main types of marketing. So email marketing is all dependent on having the customer's emails. That's why getting a customer's email is so important, getting them to subscribe. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later as well, but we really want their emails. So email marketing, let customers sign up for marketing emails at checkout. I'm going to actually pre-select this. That means we're going to automatically have people so usually when people check out, there's going to be a box that says, would you like, check this box if you would like to receive promotions in the future. Well, we're going to pre-select that box for them, but they can still unselect it. But hopefully they may not even notice that it's checked, and in the future we're going to have their emails and we're going to be allowed to send them promotional emails and things like that. But again, they have the option of unchecking it. We're just going to take it one step further and check it for them as a default so that they're more likely to accept our promotional emails in the future. Abandoned checkout emails. So I'm going to click automatically send abandoned checkout emails. So what is abandoned checkout emails? That's when someone adds a product into their shopping cart. They go through the initial stages of checking out, and at the very, very, very end of checkout, they decide, you know what, I'm not going to purchase this item. And honestly, that happens all the time. When I always add products to my shopping cart, and I think I'm going to buy it, and then at the very end, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to buy this another day, or I'm not going to buy this at all. So it happens all the time. So what an auto abandoned checkout email does is when that situation occurs and people leaves your website without buying that product, they just leave the product in their abandoned cart, basically abandoning that cart. They will get an automatic email sent to them, X amount of hours later, letting them know, hey, you left your product in the shopping cart. Are you sure you don't want to buy it? And sometimes in that email, you could even attach a discount code. Come back and buy it, and we'll use this 15% off discount. And that basically gets people to come back and buy, because what we know is that that person is a hot lead, right? They had some intentions in buying it, but at the last second, they decided not to. They're more likely to buy that product if we remind them about it than trying to acquire a new customer. So that is why abandoned cart checkout emails are so important. It's usually called abandoned cart emails or abandoned checkout emails. Send to anyone who abandons checkout. Make sure I would recommend clicking this, and then it is really up to you when you want that abandoned checkout email to be sent. I just leave it as a default 10 hours. I think psychologically that makes sense. If you send it too close, then people are going to kind of still be thinking the same thing that they thought when they abandoned it, right? They're like, I don't really want to buy it. But if you come back to them 10 hours later, even 24 hours later, they may have a different mindset, and they may kind of reset that mindset, and then they might be more likely to buy. So then you're going to click save. I want to also point out, if we go back to our settings, if we go to notifications, so for the abandoned checkout email, which is again automatically sent to them when they when they abandon their shopping cart, we can actually customize that email. So you can look here, there's a lot of different emails and notifications that we can send to the customers. Abandoned. So this is where you click abandoned checkout. So you can actually edit it, but I would suggest you not edit it because it's already well written. And number two, you have to be familiar with HTML coding to be able to edit it. As you can see, this is not just your basic kind of email format, right? So if I were you, I would not mess with this, just because if you're not familiar, you might screw it up. Instead though, what you can do is go here. This is a customized button that will apply to all the different types of email notifications, right? And what you could do in here is you can add a logo, right, to build branding, right? Build branding awareness. So if you maybe, I don't know, your company is called XYZ t-shirts, then you can add in your logo, and that logo will show up in all of the emails sent to the customers, and that will make your emails look more professional, right? So I'm going to do that real quick. And then you could also change the color, the accent color of your email. So right now this is blue, right? You could change it to yellow, orange, red. Again, that's just for brand familiarity, brand awareness. You always want to build your brand, right? Because the bigger your brand is, the more loyalty you are going to have from your customers to your brand. So the reason I said don't actually edit the email itself is because look at this. The email looks pretty professional, right? This is just an example of a confirmation email, right? Once someone who purchases the email will look something like this. but customizations you make on the customized page, which we're on right now, will apply to all the emails. So I'm just going to add a quick logo. Obviously, this is not a logo I actually use for my store, but I just wanted to throw something in there. It's just a logo for Kevin Princeton. And then if I want, I can also change this to, let's say my main color of my brand is like, I don't know, orange. So I change it to, actually, I'll just do red because it looks easier. I'll change it to red. I'll click save. And to be able to see a preview of it, you're gonna have to go back out and then kind of refresh, or then kind of go back into the page, right? Oops, sorry. You're gonna go back in and you're gonna see those changes, right? So now you can have a big logo, right? You have the color red and it's gonna match your branding, right? So you could also adjust the size of the logo. So if I change this to 150 and I click save, it's gonna become smaller. But again, you have to go out and then you have to go back in. Say it's a little bit smaller, a little bit more appropriate. So it's really up to you. So again, that's the checkout settings. Hopefully that was helpful, and I'll see you guys on the next video.